James drove for 2 hours. No destination, just movement. He ended up at a 24-hour diner off the highway, ordered coffee he didn't drink, sat in a booth by the window. And here's what kept running through his mind. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The object of life is not to be on the side of the majority, but to escape finding oneself in the ranks of the insane." For 4 months, James wondered if he was the crazy one, if he was overreacting, if he was being too sensitive, if her jokes were just jokes and he was taking everything too seriously. But sitting in that diner, watching the trucks roll by on the highway, he realized something. Crazy would be staying. Crazy would be accepting this as normal. Crazy would be convincing himself that love looks like contempt. His phone buzzes. "Rachel, where are you?" He doesn't respond. It buzzes again. "James, answer me." If you've ever used silence as your answer, hit that like button if you felt that moment of power of finally not responding to the demand. James turns his phone face down, takes a sip of cold coffee. Epictetus taught, "No man is free who is not master of himself." For 4 months, James mastered his reactions, his anger, his impulses. But he hadn't mastered his choices. He kept choosing to stay, choosing to try, choosing to believe that his patience would eventually be rewarded with her respect. It wasn't. He drives home around midnight. Rachel is awake, sitting on the couch, arms crossed. The energy in the room is heavy. "Where have you been?" "Driving, thinking." "For 3 hours? You left me at my parents' house. You embarrassed me." James stops. Let's that settle. She embarrassed him. In front of her entire family, called his career a joke. And now she's saying he embarrassed her? Seneca wrote, "We are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more in imagination than in reality." But this isn't James's imagination. This is the pattern, the consistent, documented 4-month pattern. She hurts him, then acts like the victim when he reacts. "Rachel, you called my career a hobby in front of your parents. Your dad came outside to tell me you were out of line." "He said that?" "Yes. He shouldn't have. That was between us." If you've seen this move before, the problem isn't what she did. The problem is that someone else noticed. Drop a comment if you know this game. James sits down across from her. Not next to her, across. There's space between them now. Intentional space. "Rachel, I need to tell you something, and I need you to actually hear it." She's quiet, watching him. "For the last 4 months, I've been trying, really trying, controlling my reactions, setting boundaries, communicating calmly, doing everything I know how to do to make this work." "Okay, and nothing has changed. If anything, it's gotten worse. The comments, the disrespect, the way you talk about me to me and in front of other people." Rachel's face shifts. That defensive mask is slipping. For a second, James sees something underneath it, something that looks almost like fear. Musonius Rufus taught, "If you accomplish something good with hard work, the labor passes quickly, but the good endures. If you do something shameful in pursuit of pleasure, the pleasure passes quickly, but the shame endures." James has labored hard for 4 months, and the good hasn't endured. The labor hasn't led anywhere except deeper into this pattern. "So what are you saying?" Rachel's voice is smaller now, quieter. "I'm saying I can't keep doing this. I won't keep doing this." "So you're breaking up with me?" And here it is. The question, the moment. James takes a breath. "I'm saying that something has to change. Fundamentally change. Not promises, not 'I'll try harder.' Actual, visible, sustained change. Or, yes, I'm done. Type empty if you've received one that meant nothing. Hit that subscribe button, we're getting to the truth now. Rachel starts crying. And here's where it gets complicated. Because James still loves her. 4 months of disrespect didn't erase 3 years of history. The crying hits him in the chest. Makes him want to go to her, hold her, tell her it's okay. But Epictetus warned, it is not events that disturb people, it is their judgments concerning them. The tears are an event. James gets to judge what they mean. Do they mean she finally understands? Do they mean she's scared of losing him? Or do they mean she's upset that her behavior finally has consequences? He doesn't know. And that uncertainty, that's the hardest part. I don't want to lose you, she says. Then stop treating me like I'm worthless. I don't think you're worthless. Then why do you talk to me like I am? She doesn't have an answer. Or maybe she does, but she's not willing to say it. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." James has spent 4 months trying to be good, patient, understanding, stoic. But being good doesn't mean being walked on. Being patient doesn't mean being passive. Being stoic doesn't mean being stupid. I don't know what to say, Rachel admits. I know. That's part of the problem. Type no answer if you've asked the question and gotten nothing back. Type part 5 if you're ready to see how this ends. We're almost there. James stands up. I'm going to stay at my brother's tonight. Maybe a few nights. I need space to think clearly. You're leaving? I need distance, Rachel. Real distance. So I can figure out what I actually want. What about what I want? And there it is. Even now. Even in this moment. What about what I want? Not, what can I do to fix this? Not, how can I show you I understand? Not, tell me how to be better. What about what I want? Seneca wrote, difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body. This is the difficulty. This is the labor. Realizing that even in the moment of potential loss, she's still centering herself. James grabs his bag, packs a few things. Rachel watches. So that's it? You're just going to walk out? I'm going to give us both space. That's not the same thing. It feels the same. I know. Type space if you've ever needed distance to see clearly. Type clarity if the distance showed you something you didn't want to see. Subscribe now because part 5 is the finale and it changes everything. James drives to his brother's apartment. It's late. His brother answers the door in sweatpants, half asleep. What's going on? Can I crash here for a few days? His brother doesn't ask questions, just steps aside. And here's what James is feeling. Relief. For the first time in 4 months, relief. Not happiness, not victory, just the absence of that constant tension, that constant wondering, that constant preparation for the next comment, the next dismissal, the next public humiliation. Zeno of Citium said, well-being is realized by small steps, but is truly no small thing. This is a small step. One night at his brother's place, one night of distance, one small step toward figuring out what happens next. But sometimes, small steps lead to big realizations. The next morning, James wakes up and checks his phone. 12 messages from Rachel. He reads them. I'm sorry. Please come home. I didn't mean it. I'll do better. I love you. Why aren't you answering? This is unfair. You're being dramatic. Fine. Don't answer. I don't deserve this. You're the one with the problem. I gave you 3 years. 12 messages. Watch the progression from apology to accusation in less than 8 hours. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "How much time he saves who does not look to see what his neighbor says or does or thinks." But James has to look, has to see, because these messages are data, evidence. They show the pattern more clearly than 4 months of trying ever could. Apology, promise, blame, victimhood. That's the cycle. That's always been the cycle. "I'm sorry" becomes "you're the one with the problem" in less than a day. This is part 4. James has left. Rachel's response tells him everything he needs to know. But in part 5, the finale, James makes his final decision. And he learns the hardest Stoic lesson of all. Sometimes the most loving thing you can do is walk away. Sometimes protecting your character means leaving someone behind. Type FINAL in the comments. Hit that subscribe button. Part 5 drops in the next 24 hours. Don't miss the ending, because it's the one lesson they don't teach you about Stoicism. The lesson about when enough is finally enough.